you want to do things right? To keep up with keeping your lives tight. Tight as in being right with the truth of true insight. Who of you want to do things right? Who of you want to truly succeed in attaining all in that which is your need? To be heard by the real answerer of all deeds, the true hero of all whom pleads. Who of you really want to bow down to the true King of Kings commanding the crown? To worship the one that ever rules alone, commanding everything of creation from the seat of its throne.
May his peace and other blessings be within everybody's presence. Glory to our Lord for this evening, this day, and this time. I want everybody to relax and enjoy ourselves because I either have a word for us through his man for this day and through the mother of his community that we may be blessed as a whole, mankind, may they hear his word of truth. The Lord has sent down to us this evening as we're sitting here on this panel, his latest words of wisdom, his divine guidance for the world today, and his packet that it gave to his messenger concerning devils in the community among Muslims. Now, many people hear this topic, or many people hear it on our program thus far, and think that we're attacking many of the ways of life called religion today. But it's not so much an attack or an affront against them, but because they conceal so much of the truth from their congregations that one of the signs of breaking of the seals from the Ahezaah today, that it sends the messenger to be a sign of that breaking of the seals. So with that, the Lord has given him this word of truth, that people that are sitting in those congregations now may be freed up to come serve the Lord in the way of righteousness and truth that it is sent down for us today. So with that being said, everybody can jump in, throw the ball out there, so to speak.
Just before
sure.
We let our esteemed host guest in the chat. We looked at the terminology devils. We said devils in the communities of Muslims, but it's been given to us in our teachings that devil is understood as a hyphenated terminology of a doer of evil.
Right.
And so you're looking at doers of evil, and the whole world can attest that these people are all about in all walks of life and all congregations, businesses, and the like. So this is nothing for people to be shocked about, or even truly, they can take offense if they like. But truth is truth.
Yes, sir.
Like, please.
Well, one of the problems that we have with religious communities is that people don't want to take accountability of the people in their communities and their philosophies if they have, like if they find out that something is incorrect. And if they have people that's not right. And personally, in my early days, I never ever dreamed, never had a thought of ever speaking against Muslims. Never. And when my Lord revealed to me so many hidden things that they were aware of in terms like just like the translation of the Holy Quran.
Yes.
I never thought the Holy Quran would be, tampered with in terms of its translations. We thought they all, the leaders always told us the Bible was tampered with. Don't touch the Bible, it's tampered with, it's this, that, and the other. When they did the same thing with the Holy Quran in certain areas of it. At least what my Lord has shown me. How deep that is, I don't know. But I should say the amount of it, I don't know. But the deepness of what they've done, it is very deep when they try to disconnect Allah from Jehovah or Allah. And and when they talk about this is the book, talking about the Quran so that the believers won't go nowhere else. When Allah sit down, that is the book to let the believers know that there's something else that this Quran is speaking to. And then what am I trying to say? The conflict. When they say a thing and then they conflict with what they're saying, such like contradictions. That's the word I'm looking for. Contradictions. Like when they say Allah is the one worthy of praise alone, and then they say Muhammad is one worthy of praise. And there's quite a few contradictions in their philosophy. That men have died for. When they try to bring the truth out. And another thing, and then I'm going to turn it over to Holy Queen Mother. But another thing, one of the heaviest things that happens is when they tell you to pray, and Ahezaah always emphasize remember it. Yes. And also when they, well, let me go here. Because I got all this.
Lord, I really, when you talked about the distinction between praying and remembrance, or when you gave me a clear lesson was that without remembrance above prayer or anything, without remembrance, you won't even remember to pray.
You want to remember to pray. And then this other thing about the perception, to perceive Allah.
Yeah.
You know, they don't want you to perceive Allah. It says in the beginning of the Quran, this is the book for those who believe in Allah and the unseen.
Yes.
Who believe and who keep up prayer, who spend of that which Allah the unseen has given them. But then when you talk about perceiving Allah and perceiving the angels unseen, you know, it goes right back to them killing the messengers of Allah. Now, who would ever think that the Muslim world had killed the messengers of Allah? They always point towards the Christians and Catholics and how they killed the messengers of Allah. Look at all the mystics. They say mysticism, that's what I was giving you.
Right.
They say there's no room in Islam for mysticism. That's what the leaders teach the people. Yeah. So many of them. And it is a shame, it is pathetic that Allah make his wisdom so clear to tell the people to seek it.
Yes.
And it is of the unseen. That's of spirituality. That's of mysticism.
Yes,
to seek it, to come to know it, to relate to it, because it relates to you. They say, well, you can only relate in your prayers and your heart. That's telling you to go to sleep. Don't believe in Allah in its presence, that it has the power to relate to a common human being.
Yeah.
You know, so they have killed the messengers, which they call Sufis and mystics and saints, and they say there's no room for that in Islam. Why? Because the religion of Islam, the true religion of Islam, has been sent down to free up every individual that believes in Allah. So by the political game and the religious political game, it's like we can't let the people be free because then we won't have control. We need control of the masses so we can rule. And they rule by any means necessary, you know, and that's when they fall into that evil, that, you know, the material thing, you know, it's all about the physical. When you got some Christians who say, well, there's no spirituality in Islam, but we're here to prove that there is spirituality in Islam.
Well, now it's a whole lot. That's a whole lot. Yes. Short period of time. When we talk about Islam, you know, we have a world of evil going on. Mm-hmm. And we try to separate evil and put it in a certain category. Right. But the thing is, evil is just that evil. And you have that in every religious sect, in every member of families and what have you. You have that going on. Right. But Ahezaah said, for those who believe in the unseen, those who have blind faith, from the beginning of time, the Lord Most High have always called us the blind faith. And we have religious leaders that take that and want to throw that. That's the last thing they try to give you in religion, is the blind faith. Now, having the blind faith leads you in the right way of life, but we can't understand exactly what blind faith is. We have man who, because he don't have blind faith, then he starts his own, what you call, religion. Right. And then he gets people by their emotion, and then he tries to guide them in religion. And we hold on to things that we have taken hold of, and we stop investigating. Yes. We stop having a blind faith. We look for someone else to lead us. And we no longer take that stand of having blind faith, because if we take that stand of having blind faith and we rely totally on our Lord to guide us aright, then we can see when a religion has gone astray. Islam has gone astray. Very much so. A sign of that is what's going on just in the close proximity where we live. We have, Ahezaah said, there's only one community, but we have so many division of Islam that what happened to the one community? Yes. So that was one sign.
And that's within a small population.
Right.
Oh yeah.
And so that was the first sign of seeing Islam fall. The second sign is so many signs, but we refused because I took hold of Islam wholeheartedly back in 1979. But at the same time, I didn't give my heart to mankind. I gave my heart to Ahezaah. So as time went on, I was able to see how the religion was deteriorating from the people that claim they believe. You have people in the masjid fighting in the masjids. I mean,
holding burial.
Right, holding, absolutely, taking the dead body to the place that was supposed to be a place of worship and Ahezaah alone. Now we're going to bring a dead body in there and praise it for its good work in the land and not give all praises to Ahezaah and put that body where it belongs.
Right.
Okay, now we're living in a time where homosexuality, I think, is leading in heterosexuality. And we're not looking at the fact that we have religious men. We have sons out here we're trying to raise, but we have religious men out here wearing skirts to their knees with nothing under it, and combat boots. And then we have sisters out here that you don't know whether they're a man or a woman from all the clothing they have on, but they're walking with a man who has on a skirt.
Yeah.
So not only are we not following the ways that what Prophet Muhammad was sent out to give to us, but now we have joined the forces of evil and promoting homosexuality. And we saying that this was the dress wear Prophet Muhammad. You don't know what Prophet Muhammad wore, but you know in this day and time, if a man have on a skirt, that's homosexuality.
At least in this society.
At least in this society. But then you laugh at the Irishman come out with his kilt.
Yeah.
But we're letting men walk around here with burnt beards, so they dyeing their hair just like the sisters going to the beauty parlor dyeing their hair. So we can't even now distinguish what exactly going on with the male gender and the female gender. There's all this confusion going on, and we're telling people we have the right way, follow us and what have you, and we want our sons to follow someone wearing a skirt.
Well, I was told that there was by homosexual, that they have homosexual communities. In Florida, and Canada, and California. So, I look at that like we believe that homosexuality is just an error of mind and heart, and that it's like alcohol and drugs, a sickness.
Right.
And that is something that can be overcome.
Absolutely.
But I just want to clarify one thing for the people, for you out there in the audience. When Holy Queen Mother talks about Islam is going astray, she don't mean the religion itself, the word, the covenant of Allah that it's in there. She's talking about the people of Islam, because Islam can never go astray.
Absolutely.
Because of the righteous, which is Allah. Ahezaah is Allah's new name. Ahezaah got control of its religion. And it says that no one could uphold the temple of the Lord except the righteous. And Allah, Ahezaah, is the righteous. And it upholds the temple. And we see the temples all around the world falling. The temples of the mind, the temples of the heart, and the temples of their physical buildings that they go to worship in. And then we see Muslims killing Muslims and separated because of political and nationalistic ideas and what have you. So and then we see all the corruption going on that they don't want to report about, that's happening on the holy days in Mecca, and then the stampedes and the fires, all signs of Allah that they want to say that's not a sign of Allah. Or they say, well, if you get stampeded, then you're going straight to heaven. If that's the religion, why did not Allah put that in the Holy Quran? If that's really the religion, I think that everybody that believes that should go to Mecca and lay down and get stampeded, if you are true in what you say. And don't listen to the ones who are telling you that. Tell them to lay down and get stampeded. Because every true believer wants to go to paradise. And see, I'm not one who's so full of this life that I want to be here. My Lord is my witness. My Lord knows that I've reached a level where I just want to do his work and get out of here. Because I know, I have been shown, I know of the hereafter. I know of the paradise. I've been given the promise of where I'm going to return.
Oh, yeah.
So this here place, man, like the Lord said, when you're born, when someone's born, you should weep. When they pass on, that's when you celebrate. But who's going to celebrate if they're not living, if the person's not living right?
Absolutely. And getting back to people practice Islam and run around with a flag and think they're the owner of Islam, especially the African American people at this day and time in our immediate surrounding areas. All I can say is that they have taken up the place of worship, of worshiping man and not Allah. They have taken it. And the thing is that, see, Allah is alone. There can be nothing in between man and Allah. Yeah. But the impact that they have on young people is so devastating. They're probably not even aware of their action being devastating to the young people, because here they go again. We say we're not going to work for the Caucasian man, but yet still we'll get a family first card and take our people even further down. I mean, instead of working for ourselves and promoting and trying to join our resources together to build something for ourselves, to be solid, we say, oh, well, I'm not working for the Caucasian man. But at the same time, they have the capability of knowing how much you're able to spend a month, where you're going to live at, what kind of education your children is going to get.
Because they're teaching your children.
So you're locked in. You're locked in, and by the brothers and the sisters not realizing that them dressing like the Arab, trying to speak the Arab languages and what have you, they have sold themselves to another race of Caucasian people. You know, and here we go with this vicious cycle again. And then they sit back and want to call their own people kafirs. But they are tricked again. You know, they were slaves in the Aryan countries. They were slaves. And now they have purposely sold themselves to be slaves again in their own home. And the thing that I hope that you keep tuning into our program, because we want to educate you, take you to another level, let you know that Ahezaah is here in this day and time, and that we're here to call you to Ahezaah. We're here to give you some direction if you just tune in, and not for you to do anything but to surrender yourself unto Ahezaah, because Ahezaah has given us so much wisdom in regards to life and given us so much experience that we can no longer do anything with that other than give it to you, that you may grow and develop and become an independent, free-minded, free-thinking, full of humility and humbleness before your Lord in this day and time. You know, and those who have been tuning in, I hope you keep tuning into our program, because we are planning on teaching you the things that we know so that you could grow. Teaching you that you're not just an African man. And you don't have to go back to Africa.
Not through jungle.
Because majority of you have your ancestors are Indians. Native American. So this land is yours, and they making you think that you need to go somewhere else. Hopefully if you tune in, we'll teach you about how a child that's missing a parent desires to be loved and cared for by that parent. No matter what that parent have done or is doing to that child, there's something inborn that makes that child seek out that parent's love. Even if they sit back and weep and stand pat, there's something inside of you that makes you seek out that parent love. That's the same thing that goes on with Black people in this country in regards to the Caucasian people, because that gene is in you, and you feel like that neglected child, and you seek their approval and throughout your whole life, your acceptance, and then you become their Uncle Tom's. You start selling out your people because you're not in tune with what's really going on with you. You don't know the forces that's inside of you that you need to fight to keep from being trapped by these things. If you stay with us, you will learn so much about who you are and how to start your journey in life. That will, if Allah so will, that will end up in so much peace in this life.
Well, let me say this here. One of the first things that people need to realize, those of you who are seeking Islam, and especially those of you who are new in Islam, you need to realize that that Allah said that it will create a new people in this day and time, the hour of dread and the great and dreadful day. Because this is the day of revelation, whether you want to believe it or not. If you can't see the signs out here, then you may not understand what I'm talking about if you don't know anything about the book of Revelation. But what you need to do is understand the fact that they have let the devil lead them. The Muslims have let the devil lead them for hundreds of years into another religion of man, which Ahezaah calls Hadithism.
Yes.
Ahezaah coined it. Ahezaah put a name on it. Hadithism. And they are Hadithites.
That's true.
And you can call them Hadithite Muslims. They say that I'm deluded. Yet Ahezaah gives me wisdom and insight and explanations that I just transfer to people. But it's those who are uneducated. You have the greatest masses of people who are uneducated. They're unintelligent. And when I say unintelligent, I mean they're not learned by books and collegiate studies and things like that there. You have the lesser number of people who have that education. And they take advantage of the people at large. They take advantage of you at large in general. And because of you being, those of you who are not learned, those of you who have been made slaves in your mind, you have been developed to be self-destructive and developed to not seek education, the true education. When the Lord says seek knowledge from the cradle to the grave, it was talking about experience of it. Okay? When the Holy Queen Mother talked about we have wisdom, wisdom is not being smart so much so as it is being divinely guided, being guided by Ahezaah. And we do have wisdom because we are the chosen people. This is the chosen community. People have been talking about it for hundreds of years. Everybody wants to make that claim, but we have evidence. And then we have the clarity of the truth, and we are not afraid of death. We're not cowering back because Muslims have come to threaten us about, what we say. We're telling the truth. And every so-called Muslim that have approached me to fight me on what I'm saying, that's not a true believer. It hasn't been a true believer. It hasn't been an educated person.
Yes.
There's always been some goon that somebody has sent down without enough information to, to do any types of battling against the Lord Most High.
It's interesting, Lord. Holy Queen Mother was pointing out how many people do not trust the unseen or seek out the unseen.
And that's a major part of our religion. The religion of Islam is the unseen. You always talk about angels in the life hereafter, heaven. That's all about the unseen.
And then they're turning around and chasing behind that which they think they can see or control or have something about. They get further and further lost from the truth.
Yes.
The Hadith.
They go on that winding road, boy.
I think one of the great blessings from Ahezaah, though, that the fact, as Holy Queen Mother had shared, is that when you first brought to Islam, or you first seeking the truth, that willingness to be open is shut down immediately by those after you take the oath of witness bearing and they call Shahada. You immediately shut down. Don't read this. Don't read that. And the great blessing sounds very familiar. And the great blessing from Ahezaah is that when it brought me to Islam and it gave me his book, when it went to his Quran, that was the book to the right. It opened up so many things. And then, as the Holy Apostle Holy Mother was saying, you meet those people that have been now embraced by the so-called Hadithites. Now, when you talk about the Quran, they'll fight you tooth and nail.
Oh, how about
You mentioned the book alone?
Oh, they've combined that Noble Quran.
Oh,
They
yeah.
put another book, mixed it. Man, how deep can you get? They have just desecrated the book. It's not so much the original translation where they was taking things out purposely.
Yes.
And adding things in purposely. They have just took the hadiths and mixed them all in. Mm-hmm. And you got people now coming new to Islam, reading those books, thinking they're reading the Holy Quran. Yes. And they're not reading the Holy Quran. Right. They're not even reading all the translations of the Holy Quran. They're reading some book of men.
Go ahead,
and that's the funny thing. The Muslims sit up and talk about the Christians and the Bibles. It's a collective of stories and Jesus, they say this about Jesus, they say that. But yet and still, when you approach a Muslim, if they give you the time of day, but they so righteous and
so self-righteous and
so they give you the time of day, they're gonna mention Prophet Muhammad name more than they mention Allah.
Right. That's true.
That's one thing. And the second thing they do is now they have got a collection of hadithism, which has nothing to do with what Ahezaah sends down. Right. Yeah. Prophet Muhammad, may Ahezaah peace and blessing. Well, no, let me take that back. Ahezaah peace and blessing is already on Prophet Muhammad. They always said, it's already on Prophet Muhammad. Mm-hmm. Prophet Muhammad was sent here to do a job, just like everybody else that came before him. The prophets that came before him was sent here to do a job. Mm-hmm. Now, man want to hold on to Prophet Muhammad's words or what his act was and what he did and think that that's Islam. That is not Islam.
But they're not holding on to Prophet Muhammad's words. They're holding on to
No, not his words, his acts.
They're not even holding on to his acts because so-and-so said that so-and-so said that so-and-so said that the prophet said, and so-and-so said that so-and-so said that so-and-so said that the prophet did. You understand? Yes. And Allah said during the time of Prophet Muhammad through his mouth, don't make a religion of his message and don't worship at the grave.
Yes, sir.
And don't raise another book with its book. And that it has a supreme book of life.
Yes, sir.
Which the Quran is just a leaf from it.
It's a leaf, just a leaf.
And that supreme book, that is the book.
That is the book.
Wherein there is no doubt.
We're going to hold on for a moment right now. I know it's getting hot up in here. Everybody got things to say. Yeah. But we want you to continue to tune in that Holy Queen Mother Holy-Apostle saying this is about education time. This is about building time on what the Lord has given you. This has been an I-Had moment. Continue to tune in to Calm Before the Storm. May I just peace on the blessing be with us about your presence. Be continue to tune in. Have a good evening.
Of you want to do things right, to keep up with keeping your lives tight as in being right with the truth of true insight. Who of you want to do things right? Who of you